All right, aloha everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Cosmic Mission podcast. I'm your host Al, and I felt chatty today, and I want to talk to you guys about my last part of my sloth series, and just to recap what happened, guys, the last couple of weeks. I've been doing my own, let's say, soul deep dive. The reason why this took so long. So everything I'm about to talk about, guys, is everything that I've experienced, everything that I asked myself, everything I shifted into to be in front of you today in Hawaii. The reason why I'm here, as you see, wearing this hat. I wish I could show you guys the flora or the fauna behind me, meaning all the plants in the lovely ocean, but the camera lighting wasn't working. I would have been a big blob to you guys just talking. So I still decided to wear the hat. Got a beautiful manta ray behind me. So hopefully the scenery is good enough for you guys to listen to me as I talk about episode 3, not episode 3. We're going to title this episode 13, part 3 of the Sloth series that I created, which is going to be titled Expergiscimini, meaning to awake. And for you guys, I had to learn this word, is to awake in ancient Latin or ancient Roman. But before I journey into the awakening part 3, I want to recap part 1 and part 2, especially for all the listeners that did not get a chance to tune in to those 2 prior episodes. I'm going to summarize what I talked about. So, part 1 of the Sloth series, somnum, or to sleep in ancient Latin. We learned that from 0 to 7, these downloads of the physical ego starts, putting ourselves to sleep because we're learning and we're focusing only on this physical thing. And through shaping and inception, we create our own physical self, meaning I'm going to put myself into this Al. I learned of I am Al. So this is another subtle way for us to learn all false identities or false identifications in this physical ego, this avatar body. And through conformity, we further grow and shape our own ego, which means I further shaped out of all those things we just talked about. And like I said, guys, everything is so subtle that I forget about my true self that is a divine being in there. And then that was part 1. Now, part 2 was a few weeks ago, and that was talking about the spiritual sloth. And that episode was Fidere et Religio, which is faith and religion. And just to remind you guys, faith is the reliance to trust 100%, or in ancient Latin, that means to trust. Religio, or religion, is to fear the supernatural. And we learn beliefs. We learn spiritual beliefs, or we learn religious beliefs. And these beliefs are something that we learn to be taken to be true, the reason why we learn them. And this is all essentially part 2. Once again, guys, beliefs is something taken to be true, is foreign to us, the dreamer, is downloaded to us, and we establish a false spiritual growth sometimes, and then also a spiritual identity through religion, and we dim our own divine light if we're taken down the wrong path in our religion or our home religions that we were taught and downloaded. So, sonum, fidere et religio. Put those 2 episodes together, guys. We have a fully created physical false ego, and then we have dimmed our own divine light. And like with anything in life, guys, I caught myself in a mistake as I was listening to episode 2. I had to correct myself. Christianity was hijacked by a lot of people, meaning Jesus's initial teachings were transformed to something else, which is what we're reading about in today's world. The Roman Catholic Church was a huge hijacker. So was the Roman Imperium, because we talked before. Constantine transferred the Roman Empire from a polytheist, many gods, to monotheism, which is only one god. And through that Roman Imperium, They've also adopted Paul's teachings. I know I said Peter, which was a mistake. It was actually Paul's teaching that the Roman Catholic Church actually took and hijacked and spun it into what it is today. And then lastly, the Council of Nicene aided in the hijacking of Jesus's teachings while he was here in this incarnation. So I wanted to correct myself about that. So let's journey into why I'm talking to you guys on a layover in Hawaii. Expergiscimini, that is Latin for awake. To awaken yourself, old sluggard, or sloth, is to arouse yourself from sleep. You have been sleepwalking. This is why I decided to name the episode what I named it. And guys, as I was putting this episode together, I couldn't believe that I'm learning ancient Latin on a layover. I mean, on a podcast. I just can't believe I'm doing this on a podcast, but we're doing it. And then the how. How do you awaken, old sluggard? And what first came to mind out of that question was to become aware of your individual consciousness, meaning you awake to the I. You become conscious of the I am, and that is your divine being. And my first thought that come to mind is, how is I your consciousness? And I would say, it's your consciousness because you know of yourself. You know this is something animating this body of yours. That is, the I is your consciousness, the I is your infinite soul. And when I was throwing this together, or putting this together, or assembling this together, I didn't throw it together because I had to really carefully put it all together. I remember the story of Moses in the Exodus chapter in the Bible. And I remember the situation that was going on when Moses first encountered God. He didn't know what to call him. He said, God, what do I call you? Who are you? And God simply replied by saying, I am that I am, and that is consciousness. So there has to be that if we are God's creation, we're made in the image of the Great Spirit, then we must have the same divine consciousness about ourselves. I am that I am. And your infinite spirit is the I am. And I wanted to share that with you guys if you haven't heard that before. When you say I, refer to yourself as I or I am, you are talking about your higher self. You're talking about your divine self. Another question that came up as I was doing this episode is, maybe you guys are sitting there listening right now saying, well, Al, how do I start evolving into knowing that I am? And I would say, start addressing yourself as I. Start addressing yourself as I am. And the I am simply refers to your higher self, and you finally address and embrace your inner consciousness. Another way to evolve is to rediscover yourself, meaning start accessing the deep, dark recesses of your subconscious, which takes meditation to do that, to access that one-on-one time with yourself, and also contemplation. And guys, these are all things I've been talking about for the last couple of months. And this episode is really just connecting those dots that I've been using every episode to create something into this one. And this is what I've been talking about, guys. The only way to discover yourself is meditation, one-on-one time, and contemplation. Those three things together will definitely help you out. And essentially, guys, when you start to redirect your focus into your inner consciousness or your subconsciousness, you start turning your focus away from the outside world, meaning you start to redirect that energy into yourself, into your own templum, or your temple. That's the ancient word for temple, is templum. And you can start accessing yourself from there. And this is a daily practice, guys. Like with anything else, repetition is the best way to relearn or to learn of a new habit. And also, guys, positive affirmations is another great way of repetition to tell yourself as you're going about waking up into the I am. And like I always encourage you guys, get a journal, write this stuff down so you can look at it. Some people are visual people, some people like to say it. So as you guys are writing these things of I am happy today, I am divine, I am positive, you start to hear it, you start to see it. And eventually, guys, those things will download into your subconsciousness and you're going to start feeling it. And this is how this whole I am evolution starts, guys. And also journeying deeper into evolving or evolution, your energy grid changes, meaning your old grid of your previous life is your outer world affects your inner world. And when you start evolving into the I am, your energy starts shifting into the inner world now affects my outer world. So you guys see the inverse of energy. Before, you were allowing everything else to affect you, your internal being. But now with this directing your energy into the I am, now you're shifting that energy where you realize all of your consciousness is up here. And once you change your thoughts, change your consciousness, it's going to reflect the outside world. So that's how you guys evolve yourselves into these expansive beings again, is you have to redirect that energy and stop letting that matrix world dictate how your day is going to go, or how your week's going to go, how your month or year is going to go. You are the one in control. Your subconscious or your higher I am is the one in control now. So with the new energy grid, guys, with these different energy grids, you shift yourself from a physical human being or just a physical human, and you shift yourself into a conscious divine being, which means you're evolving yourself into your supernatural state. And this is how I felt. This is the way I did it. So I'm just sharing you guys on how I flipped my energy into my supernatural self. And also, guys, another thing is tell yourself I love you. I guarantee your inner being will come out of hiding if you start telling yourself I love you and saying it and looking yourself in the mirror. The inner being will come back to life and it will wake up and start listening to you again. And I'm also going to say another question that came up is, Al, how else do I wake up from being a sloth or from sleepwalking? And I would finally say the sloth in you must finally die. All right, you're probably like, Al, well, how do I kill the sloth? And I would say through detachment and letting go. What do I mean by detachment and letting go? Well, guys, pipe down and let's really get into this. So the I am is the conscious awakening of who you are, your divinity self. The I am is going to be, now the letting go and detachment is going to shed the physical self so the inner one can bubble up and expand again. So guys, letting go of your learned physical ego or your learned habits will allow the inner one to come through. You guys are probably wondering, what does he mean by that? A learned physical ego, a learned behaviors. What I mean by that is through our lifetime, we learn of fear. That's a learned habit. We learn anxiety. We learn anger. We learn resentment. We learn that we're a workaholic. Frustration. We learn sadness, alcoholism, sex addict. We learn about discrimination. We learn about hate. We learn how to place blame on others. We learn that we have a type A personality. We learn that we are bitter, unworthy. Maybe we're abusive through words or physical, or we were abusive through our physical bodies. These are all things and thoughts that we are taught, guys. This is not, in my opinion, a part of your inner being. And these are all things of the physical habits that you guys must unlearn. And when you guys are detaching yourself from these learned behaviors, do not be afraid of your inner voice. It's going to start. Like once you guys start letting go of these old habits, you're going to start hearing your inner voice a lot more often. And it's going to be a little a little scary at first to hear that something else is talking to you, but that is your inner self finally bubbling through the physical ego and taking over the drive of life again. And I also want to say, guys, think about all the habits you have created over your lifetime and truly examine and see which one you want to let go of. See if you want to let go of fear. See if you want to let go of resentment. See if you want to get rid of placing blame on others for how you turned out. These are all things that a conscious being must do in order to achieve that higher vibration that we're all searching for. And now that we talked about letting go, let's dive into detachment. Detachment is lacking a desire. It's breaking the emotional attachment to physical objects, such as personal belongings that we acquire in this life, whether it be a car, cars, houses, jobs, money, clothing, this virtual insanity of the internet. That's another thing that we have attachments to. We also attach ourselves to people that's in our tribe and also family members. We do that as well. And then we also, guys, we tie ourselves to physical matter of this three-dimensional world, which is the matrix, or the false world, as we're calling it. And another thing that we do, so now that we talked about the physical attachments, we have learned beliefs. And those learned beliefs are our physical appearance or our ethnicity. As I talked about in a previous episode, we learn about that. And I remember sharing with you guys how I learned about my ethnicity and those learned beliefs and those learned downloads of what's expected of me as a black man in this existence and in the country of America. So think about that as you guys are going forward, or what other ethnicity you are listening to this. Think about that. Everything that you've downloaded over the decades in your time here. We learn of our gender, all those downloads, what comes with being a man or a woman or a boy or girl. That takes people into a whole different stratosphere if they let it. And like we talked about in part 2 of the Sloth series, we learn about our religious beliefs. And then we also, I always forgot to mention this one, we learn of our political affiliations in your home government, meaning here in America, we have Republicans and Democrats. And, they infuse all that stuff into us. So throw it all together, guys. We further have these downloaded habits within us. And if it goes unchecked, it can run a whole entire lifetime. And I also want to encourage you guys to start the self-inquiry. And once you guys start this self-inquiry of detachment and really examining your life, really letting go of things and examining what's good for you, what's not good for you, you will discover that all this physical matter no longer matters anymore to you. All of this emotional habits that you possessed before will quickly melt away. When all this goes down, guys, do you only start to actualize the truth? The truth is none of this is real. All this physical matter that we held importance on no longer matters anymore. The chains and bonds that we held ourselves down before will instantly be freed and broken once we start detaching and letting go. You will actualize that that physical matter cannot be taken with you in this afterlife. Meaning, all the stuff you have acquired here, whether it be a marriage, a partner, cars, houses, money, clothing, all that stuff is left literally behind as you move forward into the afterlife, guys. And this is what I'm talking about with getting rid of physical stuff and stop attaching yourself to that physical stuff, because the only attachment we should have is this infinite soul that we have. And this is where we realize that the only thing that we can take with us into the next life, into our next, let's say, realm, existence, portal, whatever we want to talk about with our next transition. I like that better, transition. We can only take experiences that we learned here on this physical plane into the next transition. We can also only take our wisdom that we gained here into the next transition. And we can only also transfer over the karma to our next life. So those are the things you guys should think about as I'm talking to you today. Examine that physical stuff. And so when you finish examining all that stuff, now you realize experiences, wisdom, and karma transfers with you to the next life. So you guys are probably wondering, what happens after I wake up? Let's say I wake up and I started doing the examinations. And I would say, continue to let go. Keep going down the list, shed more stuff. And I'm going to really break down what it means or talk about the art of letting go. And the way I did this to evolve was I would encourage you guys to do the same thing too. Envision yourself or envision an object in your mind. Really look at this physical thing and ask yourself, can I be happy without this? And I'm going to go through a few physical things, and then I'm going to go to some emotional stuff or the physical identification stuff. And the first thing I thought about is physical stuff. If you guys can maybe take a pause or maybe listen to this whole episode and do this exercise, it might help you guys understand what I'm talking about. Go look at your car. Go outside. Go to your garage. Go to your parking lot. Wherever you guys park your cars, go outside and look at that car and really examine it and stare at it. And then ask yourself, can I be happy without this object? Go outside, look at your house, wherever you live, and say, can I be happy without this object? Go look at your degrees. Go look at your job. Go look at your position at your job and ask yourself, can I be happy without this career? Can I be happy without this job of mine? And also, guys, can I re-examine all the money you accumulated, your status in this physical realm? Can you look at those things and truly ask yourself, can I be happy without money? Can I be happy without having a high elite status in this physical world? And then let's go into our emotional, physical identifications. Look at yourself in the mirror. I did the same thing too this year. I looked at myself, or look at your ethnicity and say, can I live without knowing about this skin tone, skin type that I'm in? And really look at it. See if you can detach. Can you detach from that ethnicity and live as a spiritual being? That's something you can ask yourself. Can I live without being black? Can I live without being Latino? Let's say white or Caucasian, Asian descent. Can I live without these things? Can I still be happy without knowing that this is what I am? And also, guys, we talked about in part 2, religious beliefs. Examine all of those beliefs. It's time to start pulling that stuff apart and examining, can I still be happy? Can I still be a prosperous person without those religious beliefs swimming around in my mind, wreaking havoc? And then also, guys, if you're anxious or stressed or stressed out and angered all the time, detach from that. Ask yourself why. Why are you always feeling that anger, anxiousness, and stress? Ask yourself, what is the root of that? And also, guys, relationships, whether it be a partner, fiance, or a marriage, channel that person's face. Look at that person when you go home tonight or when you wake up, and look at them and really ask yourselves, can I be happy without this person? That's another form of detachment. I've met so many people over the years that have tied themselves into one person. And I mean, it's only my take on this. I don't think it's a really healthy thing to tie yourself into one person in this whole entire lifetime. You still have to live your own individual life. But this is what I mean by, guys, you can't transfer this stuff to the next life. This is all physical stuff. Let's talk about negative emotions. You cannot take negative emotions with you guys. If you're having negative doubts, negative thoughts, ask yourself, where are these negative thoughts coming from? And can I live without these negative thoughts coursing through my mind? Another thing I think we should dissect is sex. A lot of people have a lot of sexual partners, or some people just go off on a nymph, sexual nymph status, and they're just multiples. Well, guys, the problem with that is, yes, you're having fun, you're enjoying this avatar body, but what happens with that, guys, is your energy gets stuck. Meaning, if you guys haven't been to a yogi experience or a workshop, there are chakras, and the first chakra is at your base of your spine, then it goes into your reproductive organs, and then your gut. So let's say you guys are always eating food, you're always having sex. Guess what, guys? That energy is transferring from the base of your spine up to your gut, back to your... So if you guys are never fasting, or you're never taking a break from sex or abstinence, you never allow that energy to rise up through your heart, rise up through your throat chakra, rise up to your third eye, and then also access your crown chakra. So that's what I mean by sex, guys. Is it's good, but it's bad. It's good. You can enjoy it, but once you start to realize that sometimes you can take a break, so you can realign your energy, so it can go up the chakra wheels, and you can start focusing on other things in life, guys. This is what I mean by the matrix is keeping us at a certain vibration. They want to show us these overly sexualized videos and pictures and TikTokers and social media influencers. They want to keep us focused on physical, on sex. But when you try to take a break from sex, this is how this happens, guys. Once you take a break from sex for a while, then that energy starts to rise up, because the energy has to flow somewhere. So once that energy starts to rise up into your body, rise up into your pineal gland, rise up into your crown chakra, now you can start focusing your energy on something else, and you can stop keeping that energy down below. And this is how you guys start vibrating at different vibrations, as you start realizing these physical things can't be holding you back, keeping that energy down. Body perfection, that's another thing, especially now that it's January. Everyone wants to get healthy. That is wonderful, guys. But with body perfection is, you must understand, why are you doing this workout? Why are you initiating this program? Why are you changing your eating habits? Are you changing your eating habits because you want to look socially acceptable by other people? You want to be attractive sexually to others? Are you doing a revenge body thing that the Kardashians do, which is such a low vibrational thing? Or is it something else you're doing this for? Guys, you have to understand what you're doing these things for. Is it selfish, or is it out of love? Like for me, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I used to work out all the time just to be, sexually attracted to other guys, or, just to show off to other people. But now my workouts is all out of love. Like my shirt's off because it's hot out there today in Kona. This is love. I work out because I love to do it. I do yoga because I love to do it. I just went on a night swim with the manta rays last night. I'm doing all these physical things because I realized through my meditations is my divine higher self loves to be physical. It loves to be moving. And so what you guys see in front of this camera is really just me out of love for my physical self and for my higher self. It loves to be physical. I can go all day if I could, but I have to work. So that's what I mean by rediscovering yourself, guys, is living as yourself would want to do. And I also want to add, guys, this is all stuff that we cannot take with us. Everything I just talked about, dissecting and letting go of, is everything you cannot take into the next transition in your life. And all of these things, guys, is all these questions, all of these physical things I just did, explain to you guys for the last 30 minutes, pretty much, is the process I went through. I asked myself all these questions. I went through all of these questions. I went through all of these answers. I unlearned Al. Now, it's not done, obviously, but guys, a lot of what Al used to do is no longer here. It's no longer in existence. The reason why I'm sitting in front of you guys in Kona, Hawaii, without a shirt on, not caring, is because I finally unlearned the habit of being Al, which is initially started my own shifting and flowing in my life journey again. I started to effortlessly flow. And I just want to also add in too, guys, like I heard some feedback from some of you guys saying, well, why is he, talking about his layovers? Why is he talking about his vacation in Puerto Vallarta? And to answer that question, guys, that was essentially for me to express to the readers how expansion and coming into a realignment, what it looks like. Doing a night swim in Cancun, meeting Canadians on a tequila tour in Mexico. What else did I do? I shared with you guys. So many other things on the podcast that I shared with you guys was to show you guys, once you start to trust yourself, trust your higher self, and flow with the universe, opportunities and experiences will come back into your life. And that's what that was about, guys. So if you guys are a little confused about why I have put those things into the season 1 of this podcast, is to show you guys that through my own shifting am I able to have adventures and have experiences again and start shifting again. So that's what that was about. But back to more of summing up. Let's do that. Let's do summing up, detachment, and letting go, guys. You start to realize the truth. The truth is this physical world is false, is fake, is in transition, meaning we don't take it with us. It's here for us to experience it for, 60 decades if we're lucky, maybe 6 decades if we're good, 9 decades if we're really, plugging along for a long time. We are only existing here for a very short period of time, guys. So I say you can't take this physical stuff with you. All you can do is just experience it and then take it on to the next world. So to close out detachment and this physical world, we learned our ego is fake or false. We learned that our previous world is now a fugazi. You guys are probably wondering what is a fugazi. It's fake. It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's a wazi. It's a woozy. It's fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. It never landed. It's off the elemental chart. It's not freaking real to you anymore. If you guys watched the Wolf of Wall Street, that Matthew McConaughey scene is fun. I thought about this as I was putting this episode together. I'm like, how do I sneak that in there? And I snuck it in there. So once again, guys, you start to realize that this stuff doesn't matter. It's fake. It's not real. It's no longer real to you anymore. But what is real to you is your inner higher self and experiencing and gaining wisdom. And that is all you guys need in this life. Everything you need in this existence is right inside of you. None of this physical stuff will matter to you anymore. So I also want to say, guys, once you start detaching and letting go, it's very scary because you're now exposed. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to grasp onto. Everything that you've known about yourself, everything you've known about this whole entire life is gone. And you're probably asking, well, what do I do? And I would say, have federe. Have faith in yourself again. When you start to have faith in yourself, guys, your moral compass comes back on and your inner self will guide the way. I'm going to say that again, guys. You don't know it, but your inner self is working behind the scenes, pushing you into the path it wants you to be in. So if you guys have faith in your inner self, it's going to guide you. It's going to say, here, go this way, here, go that way. Because it already knows the path. You just have to walk it. You just have to trust yourself that your spirit, your higher self is doing the work. You just have to say, okay, fine, let's go down that path. Let's do it. And that's what I mean by expanding yourself again, guys. Because once you expand yourself, you start coming into a more aligned, present life, present consciousness, which is going to set you up for an abundant future. And when you guys start to diminish the ego, like I always keep mentioning this episode, your higher self starts to vibrate higher. It starts to ascend higher. Your consciousness comes back to life. And this is how you do it, guys, is letting go and detachment. And I also want to say, another part of this awakening process is going from a shiftless sluggard to a shifting master. And what I mean by that, guys, is you start learning and rediscovering your inner self. You rediscover how your inner self wants to live, the I am. And that takes practice, meditation, and persistence to figure out how does your inner self want to live in this life, in this body. And start a new activity, guys, or maybe restart something you loved and you stopped doing it. Like, for instance, I'll be taking up skateboarding soon. That came to me in meditation and a dream a few weeks ago. I used to love skateboarding, especially when I was in 7th and 8th grade, but it was downloaded to me that black boys just don't skateboard. That's a white boy activity. So I stopped doing it. But like I said, guys, when I start detaching myself from these other physical downloads, I realized that I loved skateboarding. So I'm going to start skateboarding again. So that's what I mean, guys, by when you start letting go of this other stuff, you can start coming back into things you really enjoy doing. And that's just an example. There's so many different examples, but I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I'd be talking for almost 2 hours if I did. And another thing I thought about going from a shiftless being into a shifting one is find a new job. If you guys seriously walk into work and you're hating it, you're complaining, you are not in a good mood, it's time to move on. And I know you guys are just like, well, what am I going to do for work? Well, sometimes, guys, or a lot of the time, once you start aligning yourself with your higher self, it's automatically going to put opportunities literally right in front of your face, and you're going to go off and do something that's more in alignment with yourself. And that's a part of trusting in your higher self, trusting in the universe that things will work out in your favor. Now, for those of you guys who are just like, Al, I just can't quit my job. I get that. I'm the same way. But what I mean by that is, guys, sometimes as you're working, you might have another opportunity within that job, and you can just have something on the side, or maybe you completely transfer over to this new opportunity. But guys, just keep yourselves open, keep your minds open, and new opportunities will arise if you allow it. And you allow, like I said, to trust the path of your inner one. It knows the way. And if you guys are like, well, that's not working for me, I would say maybe try going back to school if that's calling to you. And really do something you guys want to do when you go back to college. And you can completely change your career, change your life. Or maybe you get certified in a trade that you always wanted to do. That's another thing. It always doesn't have to be a college, university degree. It could be a certificate. It could be a 2-year degree, something. But whatever you guys want to do or truly have a passion for, if that's calling to you, go ahead, put your full force into it. Also, guys, move. Change your scenery. That's another way to start shifting and having new experiences. Kind of like when I talked about with, I think it was episode 5, Under the Tuscan Sun, how Frances moved to Italy and she created this whole new beautiful life for herself. Sometimes it just takes that, guys. Doesn't have to be international, but maybe it is. Maybe the universe does want you to be somewhere different from where you're at. Maybe the universe wants to take you to a different city, different state. Like I said, maybe another country, maybe a different hemisphere of the world is where you should be in life. And just go with it, guys. And you're probably thinking, well, that's a scary change, Al. Yeah, it is. But guess what, guys? You'll figure it out. Your soul knows what to do. And you will live a prosperous, abundant life. And also, guys, I want to say is change the characters in your life. With an awakening experience, not everyone is going to be happy with it. Meaning, they will still try to take you out, do things you used to do, remind you of the old you, so you can still hang on to what they know, what they like about you. And I'm here to tell you guys this. That's why people always encourage one-on-one time or time away from other people in an awakening experience, is because you can stop having the constant reminders of, oh, you used to do this, but now you don't. Oh, well, we used to do this, but now we don't. This is what I mean by changing the characters, guys. Because when you start changing the vibration around you, people aren't going to like it. When you start to be happy and joyous and blissful all the time, people are like, well, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? You used to not be like that. You used to complain all the time. And then, once again, guys, it's just a reminder of your old self. And you have to tell them, this is me. This is the real me. Where you met me at is completely different from where I'm at now. And it's okay to say that to people, guys, as you're doing this awakening journey, is to let them know, this is where I'm at. And if they don't like it, guys, I hate to say it, but you're going to have to tell them it's time to move on. It's time to find a new adventure and a new character. Or maybe you don't. And a lot of the time, sometimes you don't even have to do it, guys. People will eventually just fizzle out of your life after you start moving and shifting around and being positive again. And being your true, authentic self, it's going to change automatically. And then another thing I want to say was turning yourself into a shifting individual. Try again to be curious. Be a curious toddler again, meaning you're out there living in the universe, living in this world with endless experiences and an endless amount of energy. That's what I want you guys to do, or encourage you guys to do going forward after this episode. And just flow with the universe, guys. This is what flowing with the universe is when you start shifting and letting go of fear, and just shifting into the trust of your inner self and guiding you where you need to be in this existence. This is how you start to flow with the universe. And I also want to say, guys, is start aligning yourself when you start awakening up. Start aligning yourself with other shifting beings, meaning people who are on your vibration, as they say. That's what that really is you will come in contact with more people as your inner world changes. That's going to reflect your outer world, meaning you're happy, you're going to find other happy people. You're positive, you're going to find other positive people. This is a simple law of attraction. So whatever is going on in your mind, guys, it's going to start reflecting. People are going to start coming into your life, and you're going to just be surprised at how it happens. And I'm here to tell you guys, this is how this happens. This is manifesting. Your inner thoughts go into your outer world, and your outer world changes. And this is how this happens. And they start, like I said, aligning yourself with new opportunities. Align. Aligning yourself with new opportunities. And I also want to say hello to a stranger. Sometimes people do talk to you if you're at the coffee shop, you're reading, you're at the library, you're at the gym, you're at yoga. Someone may say hey to you. A lot of the time we are so standoffish, we just say hello and keep moving. But I'm here to tell you guys today, you never know why that person said hello to you. It may be a new opportunity. It might be a new person for you to have an experience with. And can't tell you what that new adventure is, but what I can tell you guys is it's an adventure, it's an experience, and it's kind of fun to go down the road. For instance, about 2 years ago, I was doing laundry, and in between my washing machine time and my dryer time, I had time to sit out at Starbucks in my neighborhood. Lo and behold, some guy just walks up to me and says hello. And I had all my stuff on the table because I didn't want to talk to anyone. So I took all my stuff off the table. We had a lovely conversation for almost 2 hours. And later on that night, he invited me to him and his husband's, party, wedding reception. And we still hang out to this day. So this is what I mean, guys, by you never know talking to a stranger what adventure that person's going to take you on. And my neighbor, I'm still discovering why he's in my life, why the universe pushed him to say hello to me that day. So there's so many different adventures that I have to take with that. So that's what I mean, guys, by new opportunities and saying hello to people. You never know what opportunity is going to arise by saying hello to someone you don't know. And guys, this is also living spiritually in all directions. Just like Mother Gaia that we all call home. She's spinning around. She's living spiritually, meaning energy is moving forward, is moving backwards, is moving side to side, is moving up, is moving down. This is living spiritually, guys. When you're shifting and moving all the time, you are living everywhere, all at once. Just like that manta ray right behind me. It's experiencing everything all at once. And you guys, every day when you wake up, should be a new adventure, should be a new experience. Going through the humdrum of the day, you do everything you did the day before. I'm encouraging you guys to change that motto, change that way of doing things. I mean, there are some things that we do kind of every day because we're creatures of habit, but you know, guys, I think for the most part, 90% of your day should be something new, a new experience, a new adventure. So try bringing that into your life, going forward from this episode to start shifting again. And remember, guys, your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner consciousness. And I'm going to move on to the deeper dive, why I said that. If you're feeling stuck in your life, it's time to start to re-examine your thoughts, meaning when you actually realize that the universe is responding to how you feel, it's going to change the way you think. Meaning, how you feel, what you think of yourself, what you think of others, is a direct reflection back to you. The I am. You are the creator. So what does that mean, guys? Everything that you have encountered in this life up into this episode, or maybe into 2025, is because of you. Meaning anything that has happened to you, good or bad in this life, came from here. And this is what starts to make people accountable for their lives. Stop blaming your parents. You can stop blaming your brother or sister. You can stop blaming a relationship. You can stop blaming another experience. Everything that you experienced in this walk here on this physical planet is because it came from here. So that's what I mean by physical ego, spiritual divine one, is because this physical ego has done so much cutting up over its time. It's led you down the wrong path. But what I'm trying to tell you guys today is when you let go of that physical self and you come back into your true divinity, your life's going to clean up just like that. My life did the same thing too, the reason why I'm talking about it right now. Once I started to trust my higher self, my life came back into realignment. It feels great. Today and yesterday with so many different synchronicities. I can't even talk about them because I'll be, like I said, talking for 2 hours to you guys. But it has been a wonderful experience coming into the I am the creator. So that being said, guys, go out there and create a new life. Stop scrolling. Go experience this world. This is what this world is for, guys. Put those phones down. I know we need them. I would say use those phones for what they are. Do your work. do some research. But sitting up on TikTok, sitting up on Facebook, sitting up on Instagram all day, guys, get off that stuff. You are not shifting. You are being a shiftless sluggard when you're on that phone, in that phone all the time. That's not living life, guys. You got to get out there and start living that life. Put some structure in your day. Time yourself. Turn the phone off if you need to. Put a timer on for an hour or two. See if you can survive an hour or two without the phone. If that's too much for you guys, try 10 minutes, try 20 minutes, try 30 minutes without that phone being in your hand. So you can finally restart your imagination. You can restart your life and start to experience life again when you get off of that freaking phone. Out of that virtual insanity. So guys, what happens? I'm also going to say this. I forgot. Age. I know a lot of my listeners it's a diverse age range. I'm telling you guys this now. It is never too old to start shifting. Let me say this one more time. It is never too old to start shifting. As I always mention this whole entire season and episode is we need to have new adventures, guys. When you stop shifting, the soul dies. Meaning the soul wants to leave. So if you guys are sitting at home all the time, you're not doing much besides scrolling on your phone and wondering what other people are doing with their lives. Guess what, guys? You're shiftless. Meaning your soul is going to let this body live out its existence, whatever time frame that is, and it's going to leave. Because your soul wants to experience something new, and you're not giving it something new. So this is what I mean, guys, by it doesn't matter at any age. You can always have a new adventure. When you stop shifting, when you stop experiencing, the soul dies. And like I said, guys, it wants to leave. But guess what? There's still hope for you. There's hope for all of us. When you start shifting again and having experiences again, I'm going to say it, you can probably add some years to your life, meaning you're giving your soul what it needs. You're giving your soul experience. And it may want to stay a little longer than where it wants to be right now. So once again, guys, it's not too late to start having new experiences, new adventures, new chapters in your life. When you stop writing the book, when the unwritten book is never filled up, guys, that's being a shiftless person. But if you are going from journal to journal to chapter, it's so much experience that you're going to take in the next world. It's going to be insane. And I encourage you guys to do that. And you're probably wondering, God, Al, all this stuff is just fairy dust. It's woo-woo. It's tree-hugging stuff. And I'm going to say, no, it's not. Try it out. All these things I just talked about, guys, try to implement it. Find a way to do it. See what happens. Like I said, guys, try it out. If it's successful, wonderful. If it's not, that's fine too. Try again, but always keep being curious and see if this works out for you guys. It just might, like it did for me. The reason why I'm sitting in front of you guys right now, talking in Kona, I can't believe it. 45 too, at top of that. But another part of this experience, guys, is forgiveness. Since I'm in Hawaii, I'm going to talk about it again. Oponopono. It's the 4 pillars of the Hawaiian prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. I know I talked about this in the previous season, but I'm able to talk about it better now. Let's talk about the prayer. Ho'oponopono, the prayer is really to the I am, is really to your consciousness, your higher consciousness. And it makes the person or the I am, the creator, responsible for all that has shown up in your life, that has manifested you to today. Once again, guys, that prayer takes full 100% responsibility for everything that showed up in your life. Meaning the blame game is gone. When you start evoking this prayer, guys, you can stop blaming your, like I said, parents, tribal members, friends, families that have allegedly wronged you. This is how you stop doing that. You take full responsibility of all of your choices and all of your life paths that has led you to listening to this episode. And this is how you guys do it. And then so we're going to start with the apology. The apology is really to yourself, meaning you actualize all of your life choices, and it's no one's fault how you got here and where you end up in this journey. And this is how this is actualized, guys. Once again, you apologize to yourself. And let's move on to please forgive me. You forgive yourself. Once you initiate please forgive me, you forgive yourself. You forgive all the people that you may have inflicted harm to, meaning either emotional harm, harmful words. It could be physical abuse, traumas. This is how you start to say, please forgive me. And this is how this all goes down, guys. And I'm going to say this too. With that, please forgive me, it can be expanded. It can be expanded into, if you cannot physically get a person or any of those people that you have wronged in this life physically in front of you, you can still channel their image. Meaning your higher self can still see that person. You can still channel their energy. You can still channel their face, because our minds are stronger than we think, guys. So with that being said, try to channel that person's image in your mind if you can't get them in front of you. And then also use your throat chakra, use your vocal cords to express this forgiveness. And get that thought out of your subconscious and into the quantum field. Because like I said, guys, what goes on in here has to come out into the field. Because it can be trapped up here for a very long time, but the energy never flows out into the quantum, which is truly going to forgive that. And that vibration is gonna ripple through space, and it's gonna get to that person. So when you guys are saying the prayer and imagining the people in front of you, I truly encourage you guys to use your vocal cords to make that sound, to make that vibration. So not only do you hear it, but the person you're channeling probably is going to feel it and hear it too. So try that out, guys. And then the thank you. That is essentially the healing process. Is healing yourself, is healing your soul, is breaking all those bonds that we bring into this existence and future transitions. Thank you also releases karma, either generational or lifetime. And also, guys, thank you releases traumas. And I'm going to go back to karma, either generational or lifetime. As I spoke about in a previous episodes, is we bring in soul knowledge, and that soul knowledge is actually karma. And what I mean by that is there are things that we carry into this existence, meaning there's a past lesson that we haven't learned yet. Maybe there's a past teaching that we need to learn. And maybe in this lifetime it's going to get achieved. And when you guys say thank you, that can instantly release those bonds. And, learn the lessons of past lives, which breaks the bonds. And you guys can start living a more prosperous and healthy lives when you start letting go and healing yourself, healing your soul. And this is how it happens, guys. And then also, I love you is the last one of the Oponopono. Because now, after all this, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Now with the love, you can look at yourself in the mirror and love all parts of you. Just not the stuff that you want to project to people or you love to showcase, but you love all parts of you. And this is how you guys start doing that. So you guys tell yourselves, I love you. You also tell the people that you hurt, I love you as well. And the next time you see that person, guys, after you do this 4 pillars of prayer, it'll be nothing but love. Meaning you just want to give that person a big hug and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And it's going to come out of you once you forgive it. So that's what I mean, guys, by this is real-time forgiveness. Try it out for yourself. This stuff is real, guys. It's not just, fairy tales and fairy dust. True forgiveness, this is how you guys do it. This is how you fall back in love with yourself, fall back in love with other people, and you could truly move forward and live a very healthy, prosperous life. And you take back your power. And you guys will see miracles will start bubbling out of your body. And it's going to be bubbling. So much energy is going to coming out of you. You can exude it everywhere. And this is how you guys go forward with loving yourself and loving others and loving the whole entire universe all at one time. It's Oponopono. So try that out, guys, if you haven't done so already. And I think that would take you far. Help you guys vibrate higher. And then just to close out this episode, the last part of this is seeds of change, meaning we have to plant seeds around us to start to change. So the thing I could think about when I was putting this together, envision yourself as a tree, or let's say a rose bush that's hibernating in winter, which is right now. You have shed your leaves, meaning the habits. Let's just do that. There's you, there's your habits, the leaves. Let's say you shed all those leaves, you've released the old down to the ground, or your drip line, or maybe scattered around your periphery. Everything that you knew about your physical self has fallen to the ground right below you, like plants. Once Mother Nature starts to decompose those old leaves, that energy seeps into the ground, and now the plant can, take that old fallen carbon, which is what plants thrive on, and turn that into a new energy, and it turns that energy into the next life cycle, or springtime, when the plant is ready to grow again. And essentially, guys, we do the same thing as a plant. When you think about the analogy, we're supposed to shed the old, let it fall away, and then we use let's say that knowledge, we use that energy, and we can help build ourselves to grow stronger and better for the next season. Meaning taking those old let's say experiences and just building them and making it better for yourself. And you not only let go of the past, guys, but you draw that energy, you nourish the present life. And like I said, guys, this is how we cultivate that change. This is how we cultivate coming into a new season. And more seeds of change, I'm going to say this too. We have to feed the soul, or we have to reinvigorate the soul. That's a good way to talk about it, which means we must seek knowledge, whether it's reading a new book, a podcast, taking a trip. And I mean educational books, guys, or maybe something that could help you vibrate higher. Because if we're sitting by ourselves all the time, a lot of time we don't know someone else's perspective. So it's good to do research, do the reading, hear people, listen to people. Maybe you need to take a eat, pray, love trip to rediscover yourself, what Julia Roberts did. So that's a one way to seek knowledge, guys. And then we must start to dream again. Start having goals and aspirations in your life again. Write it down. Like I said, guys, get a journal, get a pen pad, start writing this stuff down. I think my sister had, she always talks about having a vision board. Do that too. That's a great thing to do, because you can see it every day when you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to do that. So try to do that as well, guys. And then love yourself. Say it and feel it. You just can't say it and then not feel it. You guys have to feel it, because once you feel it, the universe has to respond and give you the love back. This is just the way the spiritual world works. Whatever is feeling in here, it has to honor that and give it back to you. And then restart your imagination, guys. Start creating again. Bring back your creativity. Start an art project. Or maybe you do something else. But guys, bring back your imagination. Start to be a dreamer again. I don't care what age it is. Start being imaginative again. Restart that imagination. And bring back your childhood enthusiasm, meaning bring back your playfulness. Bring back being curious about why the sky is blue, why the ocean is deep as it is. Why does the wind blow? Why you do what you do. These are all things about childhood enthusiasm I think you guys should embody as you go forward from this episode. And guys, like with anything else, you must stay persistent with your cultivation or your growth. Meaning, like a plant, it needs constant watering certain times, it needs fertilizer, it needs sunlight. Meaning welcoming change aids you to grow with this. And I'm going to tell you guys the watering, fertilizing, and sun of us. We have to change this from the plant world into the being world. And that is daily meditation. Guys, meditation must happen. If you're not meditating, you must pray as well. That is a way to feed the soul. Also, guys, positive affirmations of the I am daily is a thing to get in a habit with. Right? I am beautiful today. I am positive today. I am magnetic today. That was my thing. I'm bold. I'm brave. Once you guys start writing this stuff down, guys, and saying it as you're writing it down, it downloads into yourself, it downloads into your higher self, and everyone is listening, and it must be true. It must come true because you said it and wrote it down. So the universe has to respond to that. So that's why positive affirmations are a great thing to do as you guys go forward. And also, guys, daily pauses and daily reflections is also a great thing to do. Meaning, take the long walk home. If you're walking home, take a different path home. Maybe you guys stop at a park bench and just sit there and watch the trees. Maybe you go to the lake. Maybe you go to the beach. These are all things you guys should do to take pauses in your day. And even if you're at work, on your break, take a pause, stop thinking, and just turn into your inner temple or your inner temple. And you can start accessing and meditating from there. So you guys don't always have to sit in Zen all the time and do the yogi pose. You guys can do it at any time. Just have a pause in your day. Like I said, guys, you can access your templum, you can access your inner temple, and answers will start flowing out of you. And daily reflections, meaning when you guys go to bed at night, go through your day. It might take a while, but guess what, guys? Your memory, not only is your memory going to come back to life, but you're going to start reflecting on your life, and you can start really being grateful for everything that happened in your life or your day. It could be, as everyone keeps saying, good or bad, but guess what, guys? It's an experience. And that's what I want you guys to go away from this episode is there's no good experience, there's no bad experience, there's just experience. And that's what you guys have to take forward from this episode is this earth plane is the classroom. It's the university. Whatever your soul is doing down here, guys, all it knows how to do is experience. So if you guys try something and fail, that's fine. Failure is a great teacher. If you guys succeed at something, that's wonderful. Keep doing it and ascend higher. So this is what I mean by, guys, taking these reflections and vibrating higher is because you can be grateful for what's happening now, which means it's going to set you up for abundance in the future. This is how you guys do this. And I also want to close this out with, guys, is when the season is right for you, you will start to sprout new buds. You will start to grow vigorously, meaning you have new branches, there's new leaves, there's new flowers, coming out of you. You're reaching and you're trying to reach the sky, touch the sky with your vigorous growth. This is your soul expanding and taking off and ascending, guys. And this is the way I did it, and I encourage you guys to try to do that as well. Or maybe you have a different method of ascending and vibrating higher, guys, but what you want to do is to grow. And I'm going to give you guys an example of in nature how you can change. If you guys have ever come in contact with, I think it's rhododendrons, they can change, like depending on, like say for one season, there might be blue, and then you change the acidity of the soil and it goes to pink. So even in nature, guys, things change, things shift around. You can be the same shifting thing if you guys allow yourself to shift. And also, guys, let's get back into the plant world. you start producing fruit. You start producing seeds of change, meaning there's abundance everywhere. If you guys ever go out to an orchard, in California, it's pretty common to see orchards. But when you go out to an orchard, it's just not one apple. It's just not one, pear in a tree. It's multiple. And that's what I want you guys to envision as you're going forward. When you start to grow, when you start to flower, when you start to produce your own fruit, it's so much abundance in yourself that it's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be wild for you to reflect back on all the things that you have done, all the growth that you have accomplished, and all the growth you're going to keep accomplishing, guys. Growth is never ending, guys. That's what I'm trying to say with this episode. If you're stagnant in your growth, you die, just like with trees and plants. When they don't have the right air in their roots, when they don't have the right sunlight, the right water, they stop growing. What happens when they stop growing, guys? They shrink and die. We're the same way. So when you guys are actively growing, actively changing, you're actively flowing with the universe, you're actively learning, you're actively treating every day as an adventure, you're going to keep expanding and you're going to keep growing in life. And this is what living in abundance means, guys, is just growing, expanding, and shifting the whole entire time. So after an hour of talking, guys, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, awaken yourself. Come back into the I am. Be your divine conscious self. Question everything about your physical ego. Question everything about your physical world. Meditate. Just reshift your energy. Remember, your inner thoughts directly reflect your outer world. Let go of yourself. Detach from the old. Attach to something in the new that's more positive and more aligned to you. Let go of that physical avatar, guys. Come back into your supernatural being. Ask yourself, ask your being, your higher one, how do you want to live in this life? And it's going to tell you what it wants to do. Like I said, guys, let go of the people, change them up. Let's see what else I can tell you guys about this. Go from shiftless to shifting. Try new things, rediscover yourself, align yourself with new people, align yourself with new opportunities. Live spiritually, live authentically. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. And new adventures and new things will come into your life. And go create a new life. If you guys haven't done so already. If you're stuck somewhere, like I said, guys, re-examine your thoughts and it's going to start changing your life. Let's see, what else can I say? Forgiveness. Guys, I'm dead serious. This is the best tool I've ever come across. Oponopono, Google it, Apple search it, Safari search it, whatever you guys do. Look it up. It's a great pillar. I highly suggest doing it. It's worked for me. And feed your soul, guys. You have to. Learning knowledge is wonderful. Learning about yourself, starting to dream again, starting to be imaginative again, and living in your true, authentic self. So, with that being said, guys, evolve yourself from just being a human being and evolve yourself to just being a being. That is the aspiration I'm going for in this life. I know I still have to be a human because this is just the physical world I came into, but I can walk in that world as a divine, infinite being. And I feel like that's what I'm doing now. I'm a higher divine being having a human experience. And that's what I want you guys to go forward with after learning about this episode. And these are all the things that I've done, guys. Nothing I've said is made up. Nothing I said is something that I haven't experienced already. So I encourage all of you guys to go forward in your lives and live supernaturally and live an invigorated life. With that being said, guys, I'm just rolling off my 45th birthday, which was on January 9th, which was Thursday. So this is what 45 looks like. If you guys are wondering, and like I said, guys, age is in the mind. How you feel is very different. So once again, guys, happy birthday to myself. It was a great birthday. Had a really good experience. And this trip to Kona that I'm in Hawaii right now is a gift to myself. And last night I just went manta ray, snorkeling. I never did that before. I told myself I wouldn't do it. It was a little hard at first. The current was very strong, so it kept pushing me against the board. But once I just stretched out, like I was doing a handstand in yoga, I was able to stay in the ocean and look down. But what I experienced with that night swim in the Pacific Ocean was 4 manta rays. One of them, and the tour guides told us, if a manta ray, touches you, it means good luck. So guess what happened, guys? The first time the manta ray did a pass, it literally, that's my right. It literally came across my right arm, and I was like, whoa, oh my God, this animal is coming so close to me. And then it did a second round. It literally brushed my chest, all the way down to my legs. And the guys were just like, someone's got a big heart. And I don't know who it was. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was someone else. But that manta ray was so gentle. It felt great. So it was a really good experience to swim with the manta rays like that one back there. So if you guys are out in Kona, go do that. It's a wonderful, majestic experience. We were only 50 feet above the ocean's bottom in the shallow parts of the water, or the continental shelf. But what we saw were about 4 manta rays. So that's what I did to gift to myself on my birthday. So like I say, guys, go forward. This is going to close out. I decided to close out season 1. Season 1 was all about awakening. I'm going to come back with season 2. I haven't titled it yet. There might be a podcast name change with that as well. But all that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in to season 1 of the Cosmic Mission, which is really chronicling my awakening journey. I feel like I've journeyed into something else, the reason why I want to talk about something else in season 2. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in to season 1. Like, subscribe if this resonates with you guys. I'll have more episodes, like I said. But thanks again, guys, to all the cosmic light beings out there, guys. Trust yourself. Wake up if you haven't done so already. For those of you who are awakened, let's journey forward. And I want to take anyone else who's listening to this too. Let's all journey forward into prosperity, and let's journey into abundance. So this concludes Expergiscimini, which is part 3, episode 13 of the Cosmic Mission, guys. Thanks again. Mahalo. And I'll see you guys with a brand new season. Thank you.